800 yards northwest of this site was the site of Fort Tyler, which is the last Confederate fort to fall in the war between the states. A force of Union cavalry captured Fort Tyler after an 8-hour siege, and 19 Confederate engines and 340 railroad cars loaded with commissary supplies, cotton goods, machinery, and leather were destroyed near West Point. Railroad and wagon bridges, which spanned the Chattahoochee River near this point, were burned before federal forces moved eastward to Macon. This was the site of the Battle of West Point. Let's go. P9 coming at you guys with another vlog, and I'm here in the small historic city of West Point, Georgia. So we're gonna take a walk around West Point, get some history, get the vibes and all that good stuff, really good scenery. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, West Point, Georgia is a city that's located across the state line from Alabama. And West Point, Georgia began as a trading post named Franklin back in 1831 before being renamed in 1832. And it's most famous for the Battle of West Point that took place at the end of the Civil War in 1865. And afterwards, they had an economic rebirth when it came into the massive textile manufacturing era. So that's just to give you a little history and background of West Point, Georgia. So it also emerged into a major regional transfer point and rail junction connecting Georgia and Alabama. So we're going to go to a railroad depot a little later on, but right now we're in downtown West Point, Georgia. And there goes Point University. They have a college here called Point University. This is actually their dining hall. But I'm gonna continue this way. This is 3rd Avenue, which is the main drag through downtown West Point, Georgia. Refuge Point Church. Okay, so that little church down here, it's like a modern church. Sewingmachine.com, they have a store over there. Aux Clothing Co. State Line Nutrition. So a few little clothing stores down here. This is a jeweler right here. It's called Hinksler's Jewelers. You got the Frontline Uniform Company. So they supply uniforms for first responders, firefighters, and paramedics. Then you have this historic building. As I mentioned earlier, West Point was known for its manufacturing, especially in the late 19th to early 20th century. This particular building was the W.C.L. Lanier Bank building and the West Point Manufacturing Company and the Opera House. So it had multiple functions. Now the Lanier Bank occupied the first floor And the West Point Manufacturing Company, organized in 1880, had offices on the second floor until 1950. Now, the Opera House was on the third floor, used for theatricals, traveling troops, opera, concerts, and other occasions from 1885 to about 1910. Now, the Opera House was destroyed in the cyclone of March 1920. And this plaque was affixed by the Valley Music Study Club and the Chattahoochee Valley Historical Society. So, yep, this is the Lanier Bank building and the West Point Manufacturing Company. So now it only has 2 floors, but remember the third floor was destroyed by a cyclone that came through in the like the 1920s, I believe it was. So this is we're at the corner of 3rd Avenue and 8th Street. I'm gonna go ahead and cross over here for now. But as you see right here, they have this Pokey's 8th Street Grill over there. And they have this building right here on the corner. It has a staffing group, wide staffing group. So I'm gonna wait for this light to change and we're gonna cross over here. It's a clean Mustang right there. Nice little Mustang just passed by. Now, West Point is also, I forgot to mention, located on the by the Chattahoochee River. So downtown West Point is just west of the Chattahoochee River. And right here you have this Carvella's Pizza Company. Sounds like they pretty good. But let's check out, they have this photo booth right here, West Point photo booth. Let me check it out. Okay, so you have this little photo booth right here. You can sit in here and have your little photo op. You can do a solo, or you can bring your friends, or a couple, your dog, whatever, and just sit here and go in and you take a break from walking and come take you some little photos. I think it's $7. You could pay via debit card. I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool little addition to the downtown. Malone Workforce Solution, the New Horizon Theater. Okay. This looks like the artsy section of downtown West Point. Nander's Annex, George Nander Bell Museum. Oh, so they literally have a museum full of bells. Wow, interesting. There goes the New Horizon Theater building right over there across the street. And remember, this is one side of West 8th Street. Corner West 8th and 4th. Batson Cook, local construction company. And check that out. That's the post office building, U.S. Post Office building for West Point. Trying to walk around this puddle. Signs of the rain from earlier. What's this right here? P.O. My Hand and Sons, Your Needs and Feeds. hardware paint. So is it one of those feed stores and paint shops? Oh wow, these look like these are like, this is like some housing, like some townhouses or something, or some, yeah, this is or some type of housing. But it looks like it used to be in a warehouse. And there goes a warehouse right there called the Borough Warehouse. Looks like it's been converted to a restaurant of some sort. Sweet Georgia Brown. Keep in mind, guys, only a couple blocks from here, and you'll be in Alabama. It's the Alabama-Georgia state line. You'll be in Lynette and Valley, Alabama. Those are the towns that are right across the state line from West Point. They have this corner store right here, the West Point corner store. Now, here's the thing. Now, Alabama doesn't have a state lottery, but the advantage that local residents that live within Valley or Lynette, Hughley, one of those areas in across the state line in Lee and Chambers counties, the advantage that they have is that they live so close to the Georgia line that they could just either walk or drive across the state line and get their lottery tickets, because Georgia has a state lottery. So that's FYI. Wellstar Primary Care. The city of West Point, Georgia. And at this park, they have this memorial dedicated for all the local soldiers who were unfortunately lost their lives in World War II. Here are their names right here. First Lieutenant Thomas L. Alford, Walter Barrow, who was an ensign of the U.S. Navy, William Dean, Lieutenant 328, Infantry 26th Division, Captain Robert Ferguson, and Cadet Wendell Lloyd Nix, and the POW R. Fred Reed. And again, this is in honor of all those who served from West Point in all branches of the military, Coast Guard, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, and the Army. And dedicated to the city of West Point by the Friends of City of West Point Golf Committee. And here are all the names right here. Shout out to all of those individuals. And you have, it sits right across from the South State Bank. There goes the South State Bank over there. And this looks like a little fountain. It's not operating right now, but this is where the fountain would be. And the name of this park is the J. Smith Lanier, the second park, J. Smith Lanier Park. And this is the other side of 3rd Street, excuse me. So we're not too far. We're about a block or so from the railroad tracks. But let me continue down this way. It's a shoe outlet, the West Point Shoe Outlet. Let me walk around this way. It's across from the McLemore Welch building. That's the shoe outlet. You can get your work shoes, whether it be your Nautilus. You have some designer shoes, Michael Kors, Crocs, Reebok, Skechers, work shoes, of course, Clarks, Justin Boots, Carhartts, Red Wings, Timberlands, you name it. So it looks like they have a mixture of work and kind of casual footwear at this particular establishment. They get new shipments every week. And that's a shoe outlet. This is an empty, vacant storefront right there. There's some restaurants over there too. This looks like on a weekend. I mean, this is Monday that I'm here right now. It's Monday afternoon, early afternoon at that, here in West Point. But it looks like on the weekends, this place potentially could be pretty lit. I mean, they have a lot of nice little shops. The Recycle Circus Antique and Thrift Shop. Wow. Got a lot of cool stuff in here. Jerseys, book bags. The Recycle Circus Antique and Thrift Store. Huh. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool little lamp right here. Pretty couple cool lamps. Carousel lamps. Pretty cool. Let me go down here a little further. I'm gonna do a U-turn and go across the street. Steak and Company. Okay, an American Grill. Okay. Looks like they have some kegs in here too. So it looks like they sell some beer. Oh, that looks good. Shrimp and grits. Sauteed New Orleans style shrimp, crawfish. It's making me hungry. They even got the Philly steak. They have brunch on Saturdays and Sundays here. Again, this is Steak and Company right here in downtown West Point. Okay. So they got some nice shops down here. And I growing up, we used to take trips from Atlanta to Montgomery. Like my mom, my grandma, you know, other family members, you know, we would go back and forth between Atlanta and Montgomery on 85. On 85, we used to pass through West Point. We never came through this part because, you know, we used to just go primarily on the interstate. But I remember we used to pass through entering Georgia on 85 from Alabama. And we used to see West Point Stevens and all that other stuff. And as I got older, at some point they built a a Kia manufacturing company off of 85. So the Kia manufacturing company is here in West Point as well. That's part of the local economy. And they have this restaurant. They have this courtyard with the string lights and everything. Dining experience. This is Johnny's New York style pizza. And they have this mural to illustrate West Point's railroad history. Really nice mural. And the name of this mural is called West Point Train Trestle. It was produced by Jim Frank, completed in March 2021. The mural of the 1914 train trestle that crosses the Chattahoochee River in West Point, Georgia, commissioned by Ben Hamilton. And this was created and produced by Jim Frank in collaboration with artists Thea McFay, McElvey, Teresa Davison, and Tawana Henson. Hashtag WP Trestle and hashtag West Point GA. So shout out to them. Jim Frank did a great job. They all did a great job in this mural. A photography company. Coaches, they have a Coach's Bar and Grill downtown. Oh wow, they got some dope restaurants down here. They got a Coach's Bar and Grill. So it looks like a place you can come. Looks like you know, when big sporting events happen, the Super Bowl or World Series or whatever the case may be. Looks like this place more than likely would be packed. You know, the I'm pretty sure during the World Cup, perhaps they got a lot of business. The NCAA basketball tournaments and the football championship. They have a staffing group called Y Staffing. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there goes a train. Let me see if I can get it over here. There's a freight train. And I was only able to get the caboose of the freight train. Well, this brings me back over here to West 8th Street, but on the other side, this is the outside dining area for Pokies. Sell tacos, nachos, hamburgers. Okay. And here's the tracks over here, the railroad tracks. Now, this historic building is called the Magnolia Club, which was built in 1913 and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Now, this is a historic guest house. Again, it's located right here in West Point, Georgia. Originally designed to accommodate investors and distinguished guests of the West Point Manufacturing Company. And it's a 5,500 square foot home situated directly on the Chattahoochee River, which we're going to see in a minute. And this monumental building has been featured in SEC championship commercials in the past. So it's a pretty historic, a very historic monument right here in West Point. You see the fountain in the old the old vintage furniture, as you can see. It's like from the 17th, 18th century, and nicely curved shrubs and whatnot. So yeah, very historic building. Let's continue towards the riverfront. Check this out. We're over here at the Hawks Library. Now these shrubs right here are the limelight hydrangeas, cone-shaped lime green. And generally, they eventually turn white and pink and burgundy in the autumn. They sit outside this Hawks Library. And you see this rock right here with this marker. It says, at West Point, Georgia, the term Daughters of the Confederacy was used here on April 30th, 1886 by General John B. Gordon to introduce Winnie Davis. The title became the name of the present patriotic organization, and this was erected by the Georgia Division of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, September 1937. And it sits right in front of this Hawks Children's Library. Now, the Hawks Children's Library was constructed in 1922 and funded by Atlanta optometrist Albert King Hawks to provide library access to rural children. So visitors can visit here. The Hawks Children's Library is a colonial revival and Georgian architectural style building that sits right by the Chattahoochee River, as you can see, and it's part of the National Register of Historic Places. So very nice and picturesque location, which brings us to the downtown river overlook park, riverfront. As you can see right here, very nice right here on the Chattahoochee River. So of course there's no fishing allowed at this particular river. See? They even say so right here. No fishing, no swimming or wading, no alcoholic beverages, loud music, boat launching. Dogs must be on a leash and it closes at sunset. Yep, those are the rules of the park. But you could definitely come over here and sit underneath the shade and just enjoy the view of the river from here. And it also sits alongside a walking trail. I saw that earlier. And it's only a couple of blocks from downtown. Probably less than that. Cross the street over there, you're right back into downtown West Point. And what's this? Oh, this is City Hall. This is a City Hall building for West Point. Okay. I wasn't sure what this was. I didn't know if it was City Hall or a convention center, but this is City Hall. And there goes a gas station right here called Sunlit service station. And I guess they have like this little entertainment center, if you will, pavilion. And go up here. They have the string lights up here as well. Yeah, so there goes the trail over here. So the walking trail. And again, another view of the river. So that's pretty cool. You come over here, have your events, get your walk on, everything like that. Right here by the Chattahoochee River, right in the heart of West Point. Y'all, I damn near lost my marbles when I saw this abandoned store right here. This was a Spectrum gas station. I haven't seen a Spectrum gas station in ages. I actually forgot all about these things till I saw what's left of the old Spectrum station. Interesting. Over here on 9th Street, downtown West Point. Want to come back over here before I forgot. But this is where Point University's dining hall is. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier in the video, West Point has a college with Point University, home of the Skyhawks. And on the side of this dining hall building, they have this really nice mural, nicely painted mural. It says Point University, West Point, Georgia, and it has the wings right here, signifying the logo of the Skyhawks. So really nicely designed wings. And it has hashtag Together We Fly. So shout out to the Point University Skyhawks. Really nicely designed mural right there. And They have these pictures on the side of this campus store. You can see they have the cheerleaders for West Point. They have the basketball squad right here, and basketball here at West Point. Looks like these the dancer chicks. I think they're part of I think they're like the flag team or something like that. Lacrosse. They got a lacrosse team here. That's dope. A lacrosse team here at Point University. And they even have this campus store, as you can see. They have Skyhawks apparel, coffee and books, McKinney. So they have a dining hall that has a coffee shop. That's pretty dope. The Summit. That's really cool. Right over here at the corner of 3rd and 4th, you can find the Point University campus store. And a little further down that way, on the right, they have a building that's actually under construction. Batson Cook is the construction company. So that's it right over there. Yeah. Really cool. Y'all, I'm here at the West Point Freight Depot, built between 1887 and 1900, post-Civil War, during the Reconstruction era in America. And this right here is a railroad car for West Point Textiles. It even has the West Point Textiles logo on there. Now, as I mentioned earlier, West Point was known for its textile manufacturing, and the railroads definitely facilitated that industry right here in West Point. Just like any other town, city across America. You know, the railroads were a huge part of commerce and the economy. And again, this building, this freight depot was built between 1887 and 1900. So the building is almost about 120, 130 plus years old, closer to like 140 years. And you can see the age of it. You can see a lot of the water staining on the steps. As you can see right here is the marker for the West Point Freight Depot, which is also on the National Register of Historic Places. And you have the handicap ramp right here. In a little storage area where they will store, well, this is like the railroad depot right here. The waiting, it looks like this might have been the waiting room, waiting area. But you know, guys, I love coming to these towns and seeing the railroad depots, because the railroad history is perhaps one of the most intriguing parts of history when I come to these cities that were basically built around the railroads, if you get what I mean, catch my drift. And it goes the rear, it looks like the rear of the railroad depot. So it looks like or this might have been the entrance. This looks like this is the entrance, you know. And of course there goes the tracks. And the caboose, the Chattahoochee Valley Railroad caboose, the CHV 2855. And here's a bench that has some images of the history behind the railroad car. It's the depot. And West Point, Georgia was an important early trading post located on the east bank of the Chattahoochee River. In 1831, there were 100 settlers in this area. The town of West Point was incorporated on December 26, 1831. The town prospered as a trade center. In 1851, the Montgomery and West Point Railroad entered the town on the west side of the river. But by 1856, most businesses had moved to the west side to have better access to the railroad. The city of West Point continues to thrive today along the banks of the Chattahoochee River, as it has done over the past 180 years. So, and within the next 11 years, or actually less than that, we'll probably say about 5 years from now, Chattahoochee, this Chattahoochee River city of West Point will be celebrating its bicentennial. So, yep, you have several cotton mills that operated alongside the banks of the Chattahoochee River, and they were facilitated by these railroad cars. You know, the railroad had 5 locomotives, 6 passenger cars, 2 box cars, 4 flat cars, and 2 cabooses. And there was different railroad tracks, different gauges of railroads that were built here at West Point. But yeah, West Point does have a very extensive history when it comes to railroads. So this brings me to the conclusion of this West Point, Georgia vlog. I'd like to thank you guys for kicking it with me on this vlog for another P9 walkthrough in a city or town. If you made it this far, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you tap the bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified every time I drop a new vlog. With that in mind, good people, this is P9 signing off. See you guys on the next one. Peace.